Okay, let's get into this. Hello, my dear acquaintances. Excuse the lighting. I hope it's okay. This is what we're gonna go with. I'm done messing with it. All right. So today is going to be a little bit of a different video today. I released a YouTube short on my YouTube channel. Duh, if you're on here. I released a YouTube short about my weight loss journey and how I'm starting to get results. It's like a little YouTube short. Check it out if you want to. And someone had posted a comment on there. It's this one right here. I don't know if you guys can see their name. Can you? Yeah, so they have posted a comment asking about my weight loss journey in detail. So I will do this video again once I get to my results, but I will tell you what I've been doing so far to get from here to here. So I first wanted to explain how I got to this point. Most of my life, I've just, been at a certain weight most of my life. I never really gained much weight. And when I did, I was easily for me to take it off just from doing at-home workouts. And that was pretty much how I've been until last year, 2021, pretty much. That's literally all went downhill from there, and I have no idea why. I'm assuming maybe I'm getting older, and now all of a sudden my metabolism started slowing down in 2021. So that's my theory, but I don't know. Point is, my body was changing, and I didn't know why. I'm going to talk to this because it's easier for me to talk to someone, even if it's me. So I'm going to talk over here. It has always been really easy for me to lose weight like that. Just like that. At the beginning of 2021, I looked like this. I started working out in January from at home because I decided all of a sudden I just really wanted to gain muscle. I think that's something I've always wanted. And just a heads up, I've always had, I would say body issues. When I was very, very young, I was teased for being very, very thin. And people used to call me anorexic all the time. Even though I would eat for 10 people. And then as I grew older, my body was still very I didn't have any boobs, I didn't have any butt, and as I got into relationships, that was always something that was pointed out, that I looked underdeveloped. And so that was a huge insecurity of mine. So I've never been completely comfortable in my body. And once I started in 2021, I started gaining a lot of weight, not purposely. I didn't change anything. I just want to put that out there. I've never been completely comfortable with my body. I always had issues with it, whether I was too thin or too big. And it didn't seem like there was a happy point, because I was always told, this is what I should look like. This is how you're supposed to be as a woman. You're supposed to look like this. You're supposed to look like this. You're supposed to look like this. So, I just gotta put that out there. Even if you're super skinny or super big or curvy or whatever, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be happy. I just want to put that out there. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I started puffing. My body started retaining ridiculous amounts of water, and my face would go from a V shape like this to it would just puff up. And I'm just like, well, maybe it's my period. Like, I get really dramatic period symptoms. So I was like, maybe it's my period. But then my period wouldn't come around the time I was having these like puffing or the swelling. And I was just like, okay. And then I would just ignore it, and then it would go away. And I'm like, okay, now I'm back to my abs. I'm looking good. I'm like, okay, I'm doing right. All of a sudden it'll happen again, and it'll happen for longer. And then it'll go away, and then it'll happen again, and it'll happen for longer. And then it started being more and more consistent. And I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is happening? And then it would be like, where I would be puffed up for I think it was like for days. And I couldn't understand what was going on. And it was also getting to a point where my stomach would bloat painfully. And I was just like, okay. But it wasn't like super like maybe I should go to a doctor yet. I was just like, okay, this is strange. What's going on? So I was just like, okay, well, maybe I just need to work out harder. Maybe I just need to like eat less. And, I'm going down that toxic, workout regimen that everybody goes down. But I was like, okay, maybe I just need to eat less. Maybe I just like cut off breakfast, cut off everything. Like, I just need to do more workouts. And I did that. And as I'm starting to do that, it's making it worse. And I'm starting like, maybe if I just eat like stuff that makes me full, maybe like a whole bunch of carbs, like just like, so I tried to fill myself with carbs to keep me full. For like, I would eat like maybe small amounts of carbs to keep me full longer, so that I didn't have to eat, I think, throughout most of the day. So maybe I'll have like maybe 1 or 2 things that I would eat throughout the rest of the day, and then just work out more. So I went down this toxic cycle, and the symptoms are just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then also, I'm stressing out. I am just so stressed. And both sides of my family, we do not handle stress well. So both sides of my family lose hair and gain a ton of weight through long periods of stress. And I'm not talking about like, oh, just like here, like I will show you pictures. You're gonna see pictures throughout this video. Like, I'm just gradually gaining weight no matter what I am doing. Like, I will eat better, or I will start working out more, and it's not helping. And so during those times of stress, my body was just storing stuff. Also, it's not helping that I'm not eating the amount that I'm supposed to eat. My body is just storing stuff in order, because it's in panic mode. And so I have also high anxiety. It's just a recipe for just goodness, It's just a recipe, perfect recipe for a disaster. Swelling was super bad at this point, because I had, the night before, my stomach had swollen to a point where when I would go to sleep with my stomach still swollen, it was hard for me to breathe. And I would have just eaten one thing. Like, it wasn't even a whole meal. It was just like half of a tiny portion of a meal. So if it was like if my plate was like this big, because sometimes I eat on plates that are like rather small, so I'm not increasing my food intake, I would eat like that much of it, and my stomach would look like I'm 6 months pregnant. And so in 2020, December of 2020, I had went through surgery to get a tumor that was that was in my stomach, or in my ovary. It was because it had been in there for 2 years, because doctors would not listen to what I had to say, and it took a very long time to get help. A lot of women can understand this type of thing where we're telling a doctor like, hey, something's wrong with me, and nobody listens. So basically, I thought that it was something wrong with either my surgery or that, you know, maybe I'm still eating too much, even though I was barely eating anything at that time. And then, all of a sudden, my best friend that you've seen on this channel before, I believe, if you guys have watched my videos, she had mentioned that she's been experiencing certain symptoms that's going on with her body. And she pointed out the exact same symptoms that was going on with me. And I was like, as she found out that she was gluten sensitive, that all of a sudden her body just wasn't accepting gluten. And I was like, there's no way that I could be gluten free. Whatever. I was like, whatever. No, I don't want to be. I just kept doing my own thing, and my symptoms kept getting worse and worse and worse. And keep in mind, during this time, I was only eating majority of carbs just to remain full for the rest of the day. So one day, I just decided, let me try this out. Let me just see if this helps, because it's getting to the point where it's getting very, very, very difficult to breathe. And my swelling is so bad that my hands would swell and my feet would swell. And I was just having such a bad reaction. And it was so hard to just like go out my day just normally. And my cheeks would feel so numb because they would be so like this. And I was just like fed up. I was like, if it means I have to like cut out gluten, then it means I have to cut out gluten. Because I'm like, I can't keep living like this. Like, I can't keep doing this. So I cut out gluten, and my goal was to cut out gluten completely for a month, just to see if anything would change. And I didn't even have to wait that long. I cut it out for about 2 weeks. I cut it within 2 weeks of me not eating gluten. I was already deflating, and my system was working just fine. All my issues that I was having disappeared. However, I still had gained a lot of fat due to probably eating so much carbs. And also the high stress that I was going through. And I was like, holy crap. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is great. I could finally move. I could squeeze my fingers because my hands were so swollen. I could just do this, and I could squeeze my toes, and I could actually walk just fine, and I could breathe just fine. And I was like, okay, so this might be an actual thing for me. So that was my journey onto being gluten-free. That was my journey onto figuring out like what was going on with my body and the changes within my body. So that's how I got from point A to point B. So although I had figured out what was going on and, you know, the swelling had went down, the fat was still there. So I had to go on this journey now onto like really changing my lifestyle, honestly, and actually doing something that I really want to do. So during this time, my boobs have gotten really big, my hips have gotten really big, and my butt got really big. So I was the aesthetic that my previous partners would have considered, and what most people would have considered, or not most people, what the social media says that a woman has to look like. I just didn't have the super bone skinny waist, but I had the boobs and the butt finally that I would get teased for all the time. However, I was the least happy. I was not happy at all. Not because I wasn't feeling well, but because this was something that I have never wanted. I wanted it because people told me I was supposed to look like this. I then realized that this was something I had never wanted for myself. It didn't make me happy. It didn't make me feel more desirable. And it just wasn't, I didn't feel like my body was mine. And I was just like, this isn't what I want. I had made a conscious decision that I am going to lose this weight. I am going to get a body that I don't care if guys say I look too muscular. I don't care if they say my butt's too small. I don't care if you're gonna say my boobs are too small. I want a body that is mine. Like all mine. And when I look in the mirror, I look and say like, wow, this is me. I love it. I just want to love it. And I think anybody who's going through a weight loss journey, instead of thinking like, oh, I just want this type of body, it's better to have the mindset of, I want a body that's mine. I don't care what aesthetic is trending right now. I want something that I'm going to be happy with, and something that is going to make me feel valuable based on whatever. For me, based on my strength. Like, I love looking like, small and like dainty, but then if I take off my shirt, I look freaking jacked. Or like I'd be able to like throw a person. Like that's what values in me. Sometime beginning of this year is when I started my journey of weight loss, and I was fully aware, so I had to mentally prepare myself of like, this is the reality, because it's not the first time I've tried to lose weight. I've tried to take shortcuts before, and guys, don't do that. If you're going to go on this journey, go on a journey, not take a shortcut to get to the end. So I fully was aware that this is going to take some time. This is going to be a minute. You know what I mean? And I was fully aware of that, and I was ready to commit. And I also wanted something that I'm like, even if I'm at my goal, I want to keep doing this. I want to do this because this feels good. I want to do this because I feel like not like powerful, yes, but also because I feel like I don't know, I feel alive when I do it. Like, I want to feel like I'm doing something. I think if you go in with that mindset, I want to look for something that I enjoy rather than I want to just lose weight, it's going to make one giant difference. I'm telling you. And it's going to keep you consistent. That was one of my biggest things to why I'm still going to the gym. The best way to research how to work out or how to lose weight is to exactly pinpoint what exactly you're trying to do. That makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference, because my focus was to lose fat with muscle definition underneath. Once I get to my goal, I will do a more in-depth part of the fitness aspect of my journey. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope that it was helpful. I hope so. I would plan to do a better one in the future, but I just need the confidence that I'm like completely happy with my body. And when I do, I want to say this right now, when I'm completely at my goal and I'm looking like the way I want to look, best believe I will be flaunting it on the internet. I do not want anybody coming at me like, you've changed. No. I've been saying this. I will be flaunting it. Thank you very much. And you should too. If you work hard for your ish, flaunt it. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Thank you. Have a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you've made it this far. And stay locked. Bye. Is a dead moth, and I am freaking out. Oh my gosh. Okay.